The weather has taken a slight turn for the worst, and the toilet tent's not doing very well. Might need to make an adjustment. So, John and I have arrived on site. The guys are a little tiny bit behind me, for reasons we won't go into. I'm now about 5 hours before both of them. Never mind. Right, bit micro-y in the back here. It's the first time that I've been away camping and I've closed the boot down. I'm literally sat in the boot. I've got my blanket, hot water bottle, cup of coffee, and my phone and papers and bits and pieces. So I'm going to do some work before Rick and Damon get here. This actually is a rather nice adventure. So there's the interior. Look, all the bedding folded up. When this gets laid down tonight, I think this will be really comfy. So quite looking forward to that. Admittedly, I've only got half the blinds, and actually not even half the blinds. So yeah, just hope nobody peers in and sees me. Not there's a huge amount of people here, but yeah. Right, back in a moment. I've just put up the windbreak, and admittedly the sun's come out, which has helped a bit. And it's just this little sort of cosy nook that I've got going on here, and just a chair, quite simply, table. I'm actually going to put the cooker there as well, so I can cook things there rather than trying to be in the back. And I think, if I'm honest, although it's really cool having this in place here, I think this is really good if you're going out for the day. This is the day van cooking space, but I think if you're cooking, if you're away down the side, that's actually really, really good. So I'm going to put the kettle back on, and yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, the latest update, we are now joined, well, I am joined by Rick, who's doing a thing. Now, we've said that we don't need to be precious about things like the windbreak staying there, or we've got a gazebo that's going to go up, or where the vans go, but it's vitally important. For those of us that haven't had anything to do all week, well, all right, maybe I have had a few things to do all week, but assuming I hadn't, oh gosh, they just went rattle, rattle. That's those mud guards. So, yes, it is important that we get this right. So, so Rick's doing a thing. I think that is as not straight as it can be, so I hope he's happy with that.
How's that?
I just said that is as not straight as you can possibly be, so
Yeah.
you're making a point.
Yeah. I think that'd be alright.
No, that's all right. Damon can go here and...
Get me to... Actually, I could come a little bit further forward maybe. I think...
There you are. I told you it was important.
Yeah. I was trying to figure how Damon's going... If Damon parks, like... He needs to be back off the road a bit, but he's going to be like that.
Well, we'll be all right.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll do...
Yeah, we'll be all right. Rick has got himself all sorted, and I was just about to light my barbecue. Just a minute ago, the sun was shining, it was beautiful, it was warm, it was pleasant, it was the promise of a wonderful, balmy Saturday afternoon, Friday afternoon in fact. And then I saw those rain clouds. They're very dark, aren't they? And I have a feeling that barbecue is going to be a swimming pool, but I'm so hungry. We're going to have to try and get it going now and get the lid on, hopefully before it rains. So let's give that a go. Right, we're trying to beat the clouds, and I do have the barbecue going. Look at that. And I didn't even need to use any of this. This is the liquid. Now it's important that you understand this is the liquid and not that like pasty white stuff, because I'd forgotten and I had lent that up against the barbecue ready to use, lit it, and that was resting against the side getting nice and warm. Yes, maiden voyage. What could possibly go wrong? Right, we've got it going, so we're going to see how Rick's doing. How are you doing?
Good. I've got a present for you.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
There you go.
Oh, what?
Can you tell what it is?
I must confess I can't. Hey, I'll have that. Is it a washing line?
It is a washing line. It's basically an 8-metre long bungee cord with some pegs on them.
Thank you very much.
The thinking is, if you needed to hang something out, you could reach a nearby tree from John, and hang things on it, and obviously garrote your neighbours at the same time.
That is actually quite useful for both of those reasons, but thank you. I'm honestly speechless.
Yeah.
I could give this to Damon for his birthday.
I've already got him one as well.
Is that what you got him?
Yeah. No.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's all right.
I should go and put it in my storage. We'll see you momentarily.
Enjoy.
Right, the rain and the heavy wind has stopped, but given what was happening with my toilet tent just a moment ago, you see these two gentlemen have their toilets inside their vehicles. I don't, and I did think that lying down to use the loo was a stage too far. So I've so what I've done is I've utilised this rather interesting present that Rick gave me, which I looked at and I went, that's a silly thing, isn't it? Look at what I've done. I've harnessed it to the toilet and onto the roof. Yeah, there's got to be a double entendre there somewhere, but right now the toilet is safe, and that's the main thing. So, very ironic, we got completely soaked setting up the gazebo, and just as we finished, wet, it's now stopped. So we can enjoy.
That is because you sat chatting and eating instead of putting the camp up first. Rule number 1, set up camp first in the British weather.
At least I turned up at the original time that was discussed.
Did you?
Midday.
Did you? Who said midday?
I think Rick did.
Did he?
I'm sure midday was said somewhere.
I never come until mid to late afternoon because I work. Ever.
He's insinuating that some of us don't work. I work 1 day a week. What's the matter with you?
And Rick stayed in bed, so I can't say anything for him.
He had a late night, bless him, I think, on the VR.
I had a late night till 3 o'clock.
Yes, I saw on the group chat.
Yeah.
Racing.
Right.
Right, I'll get my nice dry chair out.
He's going to get his nice dry chair out.
I got to figure. I don't suppose anyone's got a tiny bit of double-sided Velcro, have they? I could find a safe place to put my remote for my lights. Actually, I might have a bit in the back. Let's have a look.
I haven't.
I should point out, I don't do crisps because they only last about 8 minutes in my house. I bought a multi-pack of crisps.
24 pack.
But the delivery was on Tuesday.
48 pack box.
I've been slowly chipping away now. I'm afraid there are 2 ready salted left.
All the decent flavours have gone.
Yeah.
Well, what
camping, they said. It'll be lovely weather, they said.
Who said? You?
Yeah.
Had it. Nothing to see. Right.
Right, instead of cuddling under the thing, we've got to make it across to Guinevere.
Let's go.
He's going for it.
Ah. Oh. We're wet now.
Yours, I do believe. Cake was nice though.
Yes, we had some lovely cake.
Oh, tell you what, better want my waterproofs.
I bought a kettle to warm the van up a bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
On the plus side, camping in the summertime and in this time of year and in the UK is wonderful because the rain is always warmer.
And it's refreshing, isn't it?
Yes.
Refreshing rain, yes.
Refreshing and warm. Just very, very wet. And I've still got wet pants from earlier where I sat on my wet seat.
That was too much information.
Too much information. Got wet pants.
Right, so on that happy note, we'll see you in a sec. So we have hailstones.
This weather is really pulling out all the stops. It's really, there's something really cosy about being
In here, yeah.
Or being in a metal box in a field,
Yeah.
listening to that. Although you can't sleep to this. I mean, it's different when you've got that gentle patter of rain.
Yeah, that's very different to the heavy, bloody. Yeah.
It's like having a rock concert going on.
Yeah, if the video gets cut short, guys, it means we've gone home.
Well, that's just bizarre.
Yeah, that is, isn't it?
That's a circle of hailstones in the middle of like a completely soggy field.
Yeah, what he said. See, we said they were hailstones, didn't we?
Why?
I don't know.
Why are they not melted?
That's like a crop circle, isn't it?
I mean, look, we had hail over an hour ago. It was over an hour ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's really weird. Unless somebody put something on the ground that is causing that to have that effect. That is really strange.
Yeah. We have, well, we're dealing with a problem. My electric blanket isn't going to work tonight. I'm going to be,
Very, very slightly chilly. Only very
says the
mildly.
man that sleeps with his window open.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. We're having to rely, I think, on a hot water bottle. Damon's very kind to boil the kettle for me. Although he...
Boil it again in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to boil it again, it's gone cold. But yeah, we've been trying now for, what, an hour to try and get the soiree.
Yeah, you've got an error code that won't clear.
Yes, error code 16. And if anybody knows what E16 is and how to fix it, comments below would be absolutely super. It won't help me this weekend, but it might be useful for another time. So yeah, we'll just show you a shot of Damon. He's taking this very seriously.
I don't want to have to lend you mine, but I will do if I have to.
So that's the true reason he desperately doesn't want to lend me his. Well, I appreciate, because
Someone else in this van won't.
Yeah. Now, we don't want to say who that is or anything like that, but someone else,
Someone seems to be the only one with a working swarry at the moment. So.
and he wants to keep it that way.
I want to keep it working.
Right, okay, well, hypothermia then, I suppose.
Actually, I've got a spare blanket you can borrow.
Oh, he's so hot. It's not a very thick blanket, you know.
Actually, it's a Marks and Spencer's wool blanket.
Oh,
that cost a lot of money.
I see.
But you're welcome to borrow it if you want.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello. Not terribly in focus, and this is a bit Blair Witch Project, but I just needed to share with you that I've been awake for the last hour. The electric blanket failed us last night, so I had a nice hot water bottle, which I made before I got into bed, which Damon boiled the kettle for me. I started to get cold about 4 o'clock. I'd been up for a wee a couple of times in the night. And the van itself was actually all right. It insulates quite well with the what's his name's the window blinds. So that works quite well. However, when you open the door, you let all your trapped heat out, and it gets very cold very quickly. And then there's no heating source. There's no diesel heater or anything to warm it back up. Now, I tried to refresh. I tried to do 2 new small hot water bottles, and I set the kettle up outside, and Rick had said to me, it's not going to freeze. Butane will work as long as it's above 0. And it's supposed to go down to a minimum of 3.5-4 degrees. Well, the only trouble was the butane can did have ice on the outside of it, and after leaving the door open and trying to boil the kettle for about 35-40 minutes whilst the door was open the whole time, because the kettle's outside, I got another butane can that was in the van, and it boiled within, I don't know, 5 minutes. But I was really, really cold by then. I really lost sort of a lot of heat. So I've now got the old hot water bottle that's got a little tiny bit of heat left in it, and 2 new ones as well. So I've sort of strategically laid them down my body, and I'm trying to warm back up now. So yes, it's now 5 o'clock. This is a 5 a.m. update. Microcampering has its challenges, but more and more I can't help but feel that microcampering is for a day van and very nice weather. But we'll persevere. We'll get there. It's all an adventure. But I'm rather jealous of the guys right now. If they need a wee in the middle of the night, they just get up, they swing their legs out of bed, they walk to the toilet that's inside the vehicle, and then if they're a bit cold, they press a button and the diesel heater comes back on. Or their working soirees that they just flick a switch and the electric blanket comes on. Feeling slightly envious of that, and also thoughtful of improvements that I can make. So, yeah, I have had an idea about moving the kettle and the little camping cooker inside and setting it up somewhere in the front, so that if this happens again tomorrow night or tonight now, it'll all be set up inside. The butane won't be exposed to the elements, and as long as I crack a window open whilst I'm boiling the kettle, which is absolutely no different, let's face it, to having the door open for 40 minutes. Yeah, I think it might be a solution. So I'm going to go and try and get another hour's sleep. But I think now I'm awake that's it. So I'll see you in a bit. Morning, properly now. So, since you saw me last in a rather pushed up and rather dark scenario, I have managed to get 2 new hot water bottles done, and also I've moved the cooker in here. I won't pretend for a moment. Ooh, yes. Serious comment about micro campering. It is not designed as a live-in vehicle. I've said that before, but I've actually lived it last night. It's still great from the perspective that you can come away camping, but you've got to have a living space outside of this vehicle if you're here for any more than 2-3 hours. Also heating a big issue. I'm hoping that with the cooker in here, that might do away with that, because if I wake up cold in the night, if I leave a kettle full of water there, I can boil the kettle in the night, switch the gas off again for safety, but that will then be like a little mini radiator to produce some heat in the vehicle. I think I'm going to have to be imaginative and have to do that. It's all learning, and there are some good bits as well as bad bits with learning. But I'm trying to do this on my phone. My GoPro's over there. The other thing, you have to Scrabble. Obviously you can't stand up, and even turning round, I got out to use the loo, and then I came back in, and even just trying to turn around just to access the kettle was quite a major challenge. So more to be learned. And I do think that maybe a side tent awning, the side that the Fiamma isn't, might be quite good actually. And I'm thinking possibly diesel generator now, or petrol generator, where I could actually produce some electricity if I'm not on hookup, or maybe just stick to hookup sites. But I'm going to have a coffee. And I'm just going to stay in bed for a bit because it's so cold out there. Considering, as Rick told me, it was only going to be 3-4 degrees minimum, I was just scraping the ice off the zip of the toilet, the toilet tent. I actually had to remove the ice in order to unzip it. So that tells you something about how cold it is out there. I'm going to have my coffee. I will see you in a sec. So, it's a beautiful morning. The sun isn't shining. It's misty as hell. I've just been scraping the solid ice off the side of the toilet tent. And as I thought, I'll sit on my chair. That's actually solid with ice as well. So yes. Micro camping, it's about seeing the best, it's about seeing the positives. They're out there somewhere. It's your own personal quest, right here on the Daily Pilgrim channel. Right. Morning has now started properly. There's at least one other person that's up. It's not Rick or Damon, I will admit, but there is somebody else up. I have got a nice fresh chair, dry from the roof box, and as you'll see, I'm not going to burn anything in sight. Fuel for warmth. I'm going to cook burgers for breakfast, and I don't care. Early man would have started his day like this. He would have created a pit of fire, probably in a ring of stones. Much like the Weber Go Anywhere barbecue that I've got there. And he would have hunted for deer, oxen, bison, woolly mammoth. He would have hunted it with a spear. And
they would have dragged it back to the camp in large droves. When it arrived, they would then slit the beast open, remove the insides, use them for things, dare say, maybe bait for fishing. They would skin the animal, and the skin would then be used for warm things such as clothes, loincloths, blankets. Now, I will admit that the burgers that I bought merely came from Tesco. And they have come in a plastic packet, which I am going to shed, just like the deer skin, but I'm going to put my skin of my burgers, my plastic, in the recycling. And the skin that I'm wearing is a rather nice waterproof warm jacket. And the reason that I'm doing it this way and not as early man would have done is because I consider myself to be a civilised person with a Christie's hat. And so, because of that, I have now woken up John in the field. The heating failed. I'm trying to do a Bear Grylls. What would Bear Grylls do? He wouldn't have been in the field, would he? 5-star accommodation and first-class travel. In all seriousness, I do now have some warmth from that. I'm feeling a heck of a lot better. Just for some warmth, I've actually got my Bon Army back. Oh, I don't know what I mean. I've got my mojo back. So I've got my laptop over there, and I've got my phone charging on my little brick. Obviously the Swar is no good at the moment, and I do need to check in. We're actually doing a clinic today, and Beth is helping Helen, but I just need to log in to make sure everything's as it should be, and I need to send an email in a minute as well. That reminds me. So with that in mind, I'm going to enjoy the warmth, and I'm going to cook my burgers, and I will catch you in a sec. So the cheeseburgers were rather lovely. Bearing in mind it's 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm having an ice cream that Rick has very kindly provided me with. And I also found out that as part of the recipe for the ice cream, there's a tiny little bit of vodka that goes into it, apparently to stop it freezing completely. And he said only like half a capful of vodka in a huge sort of vat of this ice cream. But I can honestly say that on a Saturday morning, at not even 9 o'clock, I'm eating ice cream and vodka for breakfast. There's something fundamentally wrong with that, but I'm going to go with it. Right, we are having our lunch. Rick has very kindly provided some lovely steaks. Sadly, Damon isn't partaking, but he's having some rice that I cooked. He's quite happy, fair enough. So I've got the rice in the Le Creuset down there that we're going to have. And I've done a thing with John, and I'm very excited.
You stop saying stuff like that.
What?
Especially out in the countryside with a load of people around.
My mood is most amused with my performance, but no, forget that. With what I've done. Hats off to these guys, they did selflessly move this. And I'm thinking that if I get one of these with 3 sides to it, we've actually solved the issue. This would be so much easier to put up rather than the inflatable awning. But I have rearranged the bed area, and I've moved the cushion that was across the middle. I've turned it round, so I've now got one straight down sleeping bit, multiple layers, electric blanket in there. Rick's very kindly lent me his soiree, although he did take the precaution of engraving his name on it to stop me accidentally swapping it. So I've now got in the front, I've just put those cushions there, but I think if I come again just me, I'll leave those behind. Whether I'll bring the cool box, probably in the summer, obviously. Rick's Soiree there, but it's more clutter-free. The only downside is because of where we've positioned this, you can't quite open the door, so that's just a teething thing. And without being able to open that, I can't reach the box. But, and obviously the John there. John there, the John there. Haha, I amused myself. So yeah, that is, I think that's the thing. And hopefully this evening, the plan is, if I can just put something to stop that latching, then when I want to go to the loo in the middle of the night, I can pop that up and I'm undercover. A little mat down there. So I think this is the future of John and the John. So after having talked about toilets, we'll go back and I think have something to eat. So we're now attempting to be civilised around our little camp gathering. Rick, as you can see, has a little table. He's got kitchen roll, knife and fork. Very, very civilised. And I'm going for the Bear Grylls approach.
You Philistine.
Yes, I don't know if I can balance my camera.
I don't want my
Cheers. Right, so we've all decided that as it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're all quite tired. We've eaten well, it's warm. The only sensible thing for an English gentleman to do, let alone 3 English gentlemen, are to retire to their separate chambers and rest for the afternoon, ready for the onslaught and difficulties that we will have to face later on this evening, probably involving more food. So yes, we're going to have, we're going to have a little nap. We're not all going to have a nap in the same place, I assure you, but I'm going to have my nap in there, and I will see you a little tiny bit later. I look like Holly from Red Dwarf.
Oh, I see,
So
yeah.
it's completely black and I'm...
They're all dead, Dave. They're all dead.
They're all dead. Right. Hello and welcome to a Red Dwarf special.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a rather nice supper. What did we have? We had jacket potatoes, which Damon very kindly cooked, with cheese and garlic bread. And we decided that we were so hungry afterwards that Rick's going to go and do some nachos in a minute.
Oh, yes.
And we had nothing to fortify ourselves in between other than these Cadbury's milk brownies, which obviously Rick didn't have because he's been very good with the carnivore diet.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Well, I think we're about to watch a film, aren't we, guys? So
Yeah.
So we won't, for copyright reasons, obviously, show you the film. We will catch you a little bit later. Although we might end up going to bed early. What time did we go to bed last night? It was daft, wasn't it?
About 9 o'clock, wasn't it, I think?
Please don't include everybody in that. It sounds so wrong.
We went to our separate beds. We might do a little bit of editing there.
Well, that's the story we agreed we're going to say anyway.
We'll catch you.
So get you into trouble there.
We'll catch you after our film. Well, we've just watched half of a interesting film.
Awful film.
It was.
We won't say what it's called because that would be rude. Although
It's like watching an episode of Sapphire and Steel, because they never really made sense either, did they, to start with?
well, how long did we watch?
Almost an hour, maybe.
An hour?
45 minutes, something like that.
Have you got any idea what the storyline was?
There's some doors opening up all over the world.
Yeah.
If you go into them, you get psychosis.
Right. Yeah, that's about it. It made us jump a couple of times, didn't it? And now we're going to go and sleep
That's very suspenseful, to be fair.
Yeah.
Very suspenseful.
Yeah. Let's all go and sleep in the pitch black now in
I think
into the field.
we'd have preferred to watch Penny from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That film.
Hindsight's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes. We won't say why we would have preferred to watch her. But right. Well, with that in mind, I think I'm going to go to bed. So I would say see you in the morning, but actually what I mean is when I wake up halfway through the night, I'll update you then.
Good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Hello, good morning, welcome to Sunday morning. I'm speaking quietly because as always, I'm up early. I've been up since 5 and it is now 25 to 7. Rick and Damon, I think possibly sensibly, are still asleep. But I've got my coffee going. I'm boiling the kettle. Everyone else on the site, total peace. I had a much better night last night. My goodness, what a difference little things make. And I think it's quite interesting that, you know, there are other little things which I thought, I need to get this, need to get that. But the difference that having the single profile bed and not having the table there, so I could kick my legs round, I could go to the loo in the night, I was undercover from this. And that was even me sleeping with my head towards the front and my feet towards the tailgate. It was still so much more comfortable. And having the electric blanket back working, obviously I have Rick's soiree, mine I need to sort out. But that again, oh, it was just warm, it was comfortable, it was pleasant. And so yeah, I really enjoyed last night far more than the night before. And waking up this morning was a joy, it really was. I'm just having a little bit of a tidy and a sort as I go. Fortunately, at least at the moment, there's no rain coming down. So I'm just going to do a little bit of pottering and try as much as I can to get the car organised. I'm probably going to go, if I'm honest, mid-morning because I haven't now showered for 2 days and I'm feeling a bit Bear Grylls. So, I'm just doing some breakfast. I've got my last coffee bag, then it's on to instant, I'm afraid. And in here, I'm doing some bacon. It's literally just gone on. But the sun was just peeking through. And I think that'd be really nice. It'd be really good for the sun to come out, everything to dry out, and then I can just load it all in the van, dry at least. I'm not bothered about dirty, I want to take everything out and clean everything anyway when I get back home. But it would be nice if I could put it in dry so the wet doesn't sort of go onto other things and then you end up having to dry twice as much stuff. Yeah, it would be good. But we will see. First of all, last cup of coffee with the fresh coffee bag and bacon rolls. The sun has come out. Oh, I do hope it stays. It's so nice to put everything away dry, wouldn't it? Yay, the sun. Here comes the sun. I've deliberately sung the wrong tune there so there wasn't a copyright infringement. Cheers. Right, well the car, or John should I say, is packed. There's nowhere to drop your rubbish off here, so I've even got a little, taking all the rubbish with me. But the guys are off as well. Thanks for a lovely trip. It's been interesting in places, but it's been great in others.
On my birthday weekend.
Oh yes, of course, yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, not till Tuesday, but
Yeah. But happy birthday for them, and yes. But yes, we'll sign off for now and say thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.